Hey, what's up everybody? Tarafdar back with a new video. Let's talk about some of the things that are happening right now when it comes to the economy and of course the update to the credit partnership structure. The reason I wanted to do this video real quick is basically to give you guys some insights on what's necessary in order to basically make the most of the situation that we're in and what's necessary in order to make sure that we can all win combined. Irrespective of the situation that you're personally going through in reference to personal finances. And the reason I wanted to bring this up to you is because, see, a lot of people have been telling me that, hey, Ali, there's some challenges that I'm seeing a lot with business owners. I definitely discussed the credit partnership route and some of the things that you can do as a credit partner in reference to how do you join, the advantage of joining, the advantage of basically being part of a team that actually gets you to a point where you can earn some passive income, which is the main reason why I invite everybody to join the credit partnership, as it's a way to kind of put yourself in a position to be able to earn, some decent amount of money passively. But the bigger side of this picture is really, if you look at the businesses that are currently struggling and the businesses that are going through some economic challenges, helping those type of businesses, is really the key here. Helping those type of businesses is really, the objective and the goal in reference to making sure that those people are being catered to and are being taken care of. And the reason I say this is because a lot of businesses right now are going through a phase where, like I said, they're not planning to go back and reopen their businesses. So, okay, obviously you have your credit side to the things, right? Where you're going to focus on your personal credit. You're going to focus on, fixing your personal credit and leveraging it so that you can basically take advantage of that and use this credit to move yourself to a direction where you're actually making more income long term, passively. But that should be like a form of a passive income stream. Now, the bigger objective should be where you're coming together with me and saying, Ali, look, I want to make more of this income. So I want to be able to kind of put myself in a position where I can join and I want to build the bigger, capital tree. I want to have some substantial wealth I want to leave behind. I want to have a great deal of capital that I can store over time and access if I need it, just because I want to build significant wealth. And that is the point of the other side of the business that we do, is mergers and acquisitions. That's the point where I say I'm going to mentor you into ideally finding the businesses that need our help, and they're everywhere, right? We're in a economic scale right now where a lot of people are actually going through a lot of difficulties, and a lot of these business owners absolutely need our help. So we don't realize this, but there's actually literally gold on the table and we're leaving it behind. So this is really the point where we have to come together and say, all these type of businesses, right? All these people who are struggling right now, all the people who are thinking of not going back, or the people who are going to go and, lay off a good amount of their employees, are in dire need of our assistance. They're in dire need of our help. And we should take advantage of going there, sitting down with those owners, communicating with them, and giving them some sort of exit strategy, guiding them in reference to coming together and doing an exit strategy. And that exit strategy can be us coming in and turning around those businesses that are currently struggling and basically restructuring them to a point where they're healthy again, so that they can keep their employees, they can keep the relationship with their suppliers, they can make the passive income, they can basically retire properly. So one of the strategies that we deploy quite a bit is that we want to make sure that the existing owners are not coming back to work and doing their 9-to-5 like they bought themselves a full-time job. A lot of businesses, that's how they go and run their businesses. They're actually doing the 9-to-5, they're doing a full-time thing, and that's really hurting them. That's hurting them to a point where they're not really finding any other structure and any other strategy to kind of retire comfortably, because they're scared, right, obviously, that they won't be able to sustain if they retire. And the reason why they think this way, and it's the very obvious why, is because they haven't had infrastructure to support their retirement. Now, the business was supposed to be their goal, was supposed to be their exit strategy. But the way things are, it's almost impossible for them to retire or exit based on their existing business, because it doesn't have the infrastructure that they were meant to be. So over time, obviously, with the whole pandemic and everything, a lot of businesses have gone down income-wise. Expenses have gone up, and there's basically no exit in mind or in sight, which is really causing a lot of frustration for a lot of these business owners. So what you and I need to figure out is, how do we help those people? And the reason I'm telling you this is because the more we think about that, the more money we'll be able to tap into, right? Think about it this way. Back in the day, a lot of people used to leave a lot of money on the table. And what I mean by that is, there was this gold rush back in the days, right? Let me share a story with you. And then there was this farmer who basically saw all this type of people doing the gold thing and digging. So they bought a lot of equipment and they went into the mountains trying to find gold. And he basically pursued that and went after those people and pursued his own dream and trying to find gold and dig and dig and dig, to a point where he had to liquidate all his assets and his farm because he basically continued trying to find the gold. He never really found anything except for a few small pieces, and there was no wealth that amassed to that. But later down the road, a company came in and bought his assets and started digging in his own backyard. And they found acres and acres of diamonds instead of gold in his own backyard. Whereas he was so concentrated on finding gold and going out there and following all these people and these trends and trying to salvage that situation to make a lot of wealth. But all this time he had diamonds sitting in his backyard, acres of diamonds. So this story is basically what's happening right now in the economy. We have to see that there's acres of diamonds in our own backyards. We have to figure a way to come and rescue these businesses to the point where we can help them, restructure them, turn them around, and make them healthy again, all while being able to benefit the owners and ourselves while building massive wealth. And the best part of all this, which a lot of people are instantly afraid when you tell them you're a turnaround expert or a mergers and acquisition expert, the best part about all this is it doesn't cost a single dollar for the owner or us to work together, right? So a lot of people are scared because when you think of a turnaround mergers and acquisition specialist, a guy from an investment bank, typical fees are anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million. That's our fee. And you might be thinking, man, that's really high. Who would pay that? Well, let's look logically. If I spend $20 million of my wealth in a business that is at permanent threat of being shut down, would I spend $1 million to save it? 100% would. I would even go as far as spending $2 to $3 million to save it. That's the logic. And see, a lot of people don't realize this, but the type of work we do, it's a high level of skill sets that are implemented all together in a very short period of time to be able to salvage that business. So it's high level and it requires perfection to a point where you know exactly what you need to do in order to salvage that business. Now, the credit partners and of course the mentees who are basically doing my mentoring program in order to source these type of deals and learning about the infrastructure are going to be enjoying that. And when they do, they're going to benefit the most, because what's going to happen is they'll take advantage of gaining the winnings with us instead of being put on the side and figuring out how to build their wealth. And remember, I always talk about gaps and the opportunities in these markets and situations where you're able to make a lot of wealth if you know exactly how to position yourself properly and you know how to do it with precision. Well, this is one of those gaps that I'm talking about. So I know it's kind of a convoluted way of thinking about how to build a lot of wealth by helping troubled businesses, but believe me, when I tell you this, that there's a lot of money being left on the table. These business owners are going to walk out of their other businesses anyways. So the last thing that you and I need to worry about is what's in it for us, because we know exactly what's in it for us. And of course, imagine that, being able to save a company and being able to give them a successful exit strategy and salvaging their business while giving them some sort of way to look for a retirement, taking them off their full-time job and putting into infrastructure so that we can help them long term. I mean, that just on its own is extremely rewarding. There's just so much benefit to look into instead of like, hey, what's the loss or what's the dangers, right? And the reality is there is no dangers for both us and the business owners, because like I said, it doesn't cost a single penny for them to reach out to us if they're needing help, and it doesn't cost us a single dollar to step in and being able to help and solve those businesses. Typically, it takes about a good 100 days, but 6 to 9 months or so, a proper turnaround to get it really healthy again. But that's where massive wealth is built, because beyond that, what we do is we put infrastructure together and then we sell that business to a very healthy buyer, and we put all the right tools and resources in place so that the business owner typically doesn't have to wait a year or two before it's sold. On top of that, they're already passively retired because we're handling the management side of it. Now, why am I sharing this with people who are looking at my channel for credit? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, you guys know about the credit partnership model where we can make a lot of money. But on the other side, credit partners and credit is a small stake compared to the bigger picture, right? As a credit partner, you're making small, tiny sums of passive income. But if you really want to make 6, 7, or even 8 figures, you have to think bigger. You have to think a lot bigger. The type of income stream I'm talking about is life-changing. So if you start with your credit partnership, which I hope you will, as a passive income source, and hopefully if you want to do the mergers and the type of turnaround work that I do to help companies and want to join the team here, the A team, and if you're serious, because I'm not going to take people who email me and don't respond. Because right off the get-go, I'm going to give you guys a thing about me, and the reason why I work with high caliber people is because I don't get lazy. When I email somebody and they don't respond, I cut them off completely. I ignore them, and the reason why it's because chances are the way that they respond, and if they're timely, is the exact way that they're going to be responsive in the type of dealings of business that we do and how they're going to take the relationships. And if I email somebody and they write to me first and they say, Ali, I'm interested, and then they respond right away and they're very hyperactive about it and they basically want to get things done ASAP, those are the type of people that are going to create real change and transformation and build massive wealth. And those are the type of people that I concentrate my efforts on. I'm not a needy person that I need customers to come to me, because I have deals right now that are going to equate to 7 to 8 figure exits. So if you think for a second that it's just another option, it absolutely isn't. This is a scalable factor, and it's something that you can build massive wealth on. So you should definitely consider doing this if you're serious. So if you do reach out to me and you say, Ali, I want to do this, you better be ready to do it. Don't say it for the sake of reaching out and not communicating. And another point I wanted to add here is I'm going to be cleaning up my email list based on the people who actually read the emails, because I want to give those people the best offers that I can in reference to knowledge, in reference to the steps that they need to take. And I got some amazing things that are coming up that I'll be sending regularly through email that I want those people who have been paying attention all this time to get access to. So moving forward, I'm basically doing a little bit of filtering, because I'm building an A team, but that A team, I want them to be top-notch, responsive, dedicated, and committed to learning what's necessary to take wealth seriously, to take money seriously, right? This is not a joke, because these businesses, they're in dire need. So the lazy people can wait on the side and watch the real serious people make the money, right? So if you're serious and you want to basically join the A team and you want to get mentored, so be ready to invest, then contact me by writing at ali@alitarafdar.com. It's actually going to be in the comment section and in the description of this video, so you feel free to check it out. So with that said, I hope I gave you guys some insights in reference to what's happening, some of the changes that you need to be on the lookout for, and definitely the future of wealth and what you can do to take a share in that. With that said, this is your guide and mentor. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing and turning the bell icon on to all, so every time there's videos like these, you'll be first to be notified. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Share this video with those that you would feel who would benefit or who have that entrepreneurial mindset and want to change their lives for the better. And of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. With that said, this is your guide and mentor, Ali Tarafdar. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.